In a world that measures success in numbers, one woman learned to measure hers in moments. She's a tax auditor, precise, calm, powerful. But behind the boardrooms and spreadsheets lives a story of survival and resilience. A story of a woman who's walked through highs and lows, one who had to audit her life to truly ask what adds value, what truly is her purpose, one who knew that if she didn't do it herself, no one else would come to save her. A dreamer who now makes other people's dreams come true. Today, her story is not just about success or wealth, it's about faith, courage, and becoming. Because sometimes before you audit the books, you have to audit your soul. Custom Media reached out to one Dr. Regina King'ori, and we got to understand why. Here's her story.
When you're open and ready for opportunities, God just opens opportunities one by one. Another thing that I mentioned, when we started that program in 2022, we just wanted to give back to the society.
Dr. Regina exudes so much positivity, a character she must have honed throughout the years, and I was curious to know the genesis of it all. What were her dreams when she simply was little Regina? Here was her response.
So that's such a beautiful question. So Regina is a village girl. Actually, most of my life I've been in the village, being together with my parents and my siblings. I went through school and I had very beautiful stories when we were growing up with my parents and my siblings. Humble home. And I remember one time, and I've shared, by the way, on my book, there's something transformational that happened to me when I was in class 4. And because our school needs mashinani, so there are so many people who come to give, you know, the way people visit places to give sanitary towels and so many things. At this particular time, Unilever came. They were giving us sanitary towels, Colgate and so many, and we were seated on a tree being taught how to use. And this lady who was explaining was so beautiful. She had very beautiful nails, lips. For me, I didn't see what she was explaining, but her herself. And then after that, because she was so marvelous, I checked and she had a car and she drove off. And I've never seen a lady drive a car that beautiful. And that picture remained in my mind that young, that this is what I want. I don't know what I want to become, but this lady, that this is what I want to become. So I got a dream at a very young age that I would want a better life, for my children, for my family. Yes.
I then asked Daktari if she would say that now she's already achieved what little Regina set out to be. Humbly, she replied,
I feel like I'm just scratching the floor. There's still so much to become. And I believe that in this life, as long as we are breathing, everything is possible. The sky is the limit. Any person can become anything. So for me, I feel I'm at 2x. There's 3x, 5x, 10x, 20. There's still much more to become.
Knowing a little of her background, I asked her how then she moved from a humble home to now Dr. Regina King'ori with the accolades under her belt, and her response clearly showed her resilience.
When I finished school, I really wanted to go to campus because I felt this lady must have been, you know, she's having a good job, and I really wanted that. And coming from there, that is was one of my setbacks. I did not achieve my grades to be able to go to a regular public university. That time, I guess the entry point could have been a B. I got a B minus. And that was heartbreaking because my father told me, you either go back to secondary school and perform, and then, but I didn't have that courage because of how I had chosen my grade, so I felt I had done good enough. And that is the time I thought possibly I can do accounting. And that's how I started doing accounting. And I did my accounting very well. I passed all of them, and I was so determined. And accounting is something that that time I was learning. We were doing it for, I guess, like 16 hours, from 4 in the morning until 10 at night. During the day, you're in class. In the morning, you wake up to read. In the evening, you're doing group work. There was a lot, but I kept the momentum. And I really also wanted to go to campus. And I told you I come from a humble background. So my parents could not be able to pay for me to be able to go to a parallel institution because that is the only option. So after finishing, I got a job. And that out of that job is where I saved to join the university. And it was, I think that was one of my biggest achievements, to be able to actually save money and take myself to do the degree that I really wanted. And from there, actually, most of my education, I did them so fast. CPA, degree, master's, there was no non-stop. It's like I felt I have to achieve everything at a go. So at age 25, I even had my master's.
Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
25, a master's degree holder, a wife. What next for Daktari?
First of all, before I finished school, I could see the struggle that we were going through for education. And I went to Gikomba and started a business of selling Motumba clothes. And I would, that time we had the yellow papers, the yellow big papers. I would go to Gikomba early in the morning, 5 in the morning, and we used to live in a hostel that you have to be, the soldier has to open the door for you. Opens for me at 5, I go to Gikomba, I buy, then 9, I'm in class doing my CPA. Then in the evening, I put my clothes in those yellow paper bags to go sell in the hostels so that I could get money for survival. And actually, because I was still dreaming to go to university, I even thought that this business would come to that point. Of course, it didn't last for long. I guess I did it for more than 6 months, but it was something that when I talk about business, that was my first business, so it is very sentimental to me. So going at night, getting to Gikomba at 6 at night, and going through, you know, those choosing cameras and everything, that was something beautiful. The other one is when I went to KCA. When the first time, because I went to KCA University, when I got a job, I had my CPAs. I had a CPA now. And I went to KCA and they told me that the money to one semester is 76,000. I still remember. And it was a big one. It was a lot of money. So I came back and I was like, now how do I crack this one? So I said, let me first go to Star College. That was in Nairobi. I was working in Thika. Let me go to Star College. The fees, I did a certified financial analyst. That was a course that I did. The fees, small, it was about 30,000, but now I'll be able to maneuver now the transport, everything, logistic-wise. I just wanted to see how will I be able to move from work, go to Nairobi, learn, come back home, then the following morning. And I did that for 6 months for that course in Star College. And I was so happy and I gained momentum. I went to KCA University, I had 40,000 with me. And actually what I wanted to do, I wanted to write on my CV, university ongoing. That's what I thought in my mind. So I went there and they gave me, of course, the admission letter. And I paid that 40,000 and I went to class. That was the year 2009, January. And I remember the day I stepped in college, in the university, when I came back home, I cried. I couldn't believe that I had come that far. I couldn't believe that I had stepped to something that I really had wanted for so long. And by God's grace, the accountant told us that we were given a card, a digital card. So there's a door you could swipe. If you paid fees, you swipe, you get in. So there are so many days I came without knowing if I swipe, it will get in. And it just swipes and I get in miraculously.
Wow, miraculously though.
Yes.
Higher. Was the Gikomba business the one getting you the money, or had you started another business, or where were you getting the fee?
I had gotten a job at that particular point. So this is what happened. After Gikomba job, I was in section 5. Gikomba job finished. So the CPA, we were doing it for 6 months. So the section 6, I got a job for the elections, the clerk for elections. And I was paid 5,500. By the way, the Gikomba business, the match I could get was 1,000, 2,000, because you're buying every day. And you have dead stock, so many things. So the job that I got, I was for the 2007, I was a polling clerk. I was paid 5,500. I had never seen such money. So when I came back, I was in section 6 now. I bought a suit because now I needed to look for a job. I paid a bit of my hostel fee and everything. And I didn't know anybody. So I wrote my CV and I knocked on doors around the Thika town. I would knock a door and then I say, this is my CV, this is what I'm doing. Because I needed to secure a job. But I did not secure a job, but I was attached somewhere as doing audit. So I started doing audit. And then one day a job opening happened on a newspaper and I applied. And God gave me a job as an account clerk at Chania Boys High School. Wow. So I was an account clerk there. And I worked there for about 5 years. Yes. And that is a place that I got the money to
pay the fee.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. So, knocking at doors.
Yes.
Nabilona explained it was a lot of doors.
It was a lot of doors.
What was pushing you to do
And
all
actually,
that?
when I was knocking doors, I was 19 years.
19?
Yes. First of all, I didn't want to go back home.
Okay, that's a motivation right there.
Very a big one. I actually told my mother, if you ever see me come back here after college, no, they're not even toilets to wash. Yes.
You were ready to do it?
I was ready. I was ready to wash even the toilets, not to go back to the village.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now you're an accountant at Chania Boys,
Yes.
and you're still in university.
Yes.
How are you maneuvering?
Let me tell you something. And people think today that I have a lot of energy. But that energy was built at that point when I was very young. First of all, I told you my CPS, I couldn't fail. This was life and death.
It was not an option.
It was not an option. For me, CPS was, I couldn't fail. First of all, the financial challenges at home required me to pass. So I had to do it from 4 a.m. in the morning until 10 at night. And actually, I remember where we used to do group work in the evening because the hostel was very restricted. We used to do it in a college where they were not closing. So at 10, because the soldier had to close the hostel, we would come running. If he dare closed, you're going to sleep outside. So because of those long hours, when I came to work, I still did the same. So in the morning, and then another thing that was very fundamental for me at that particular point was my relationship with God. I used to go for morning glory at 7 a.m. in the morning. So my college life, I remember going to morning glory, lunch hours, and evening services. So when I was working, I would wake up, go for morning service, then I go to work. Then in the evening, around 4:30, I had requested for that time. 4:30, I board a matatu all the way to KCA University. Then we'll finish around 8:39. Then I come back.
And this goes on for how long?
This goes on for 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Okay.
And immediately after that, because I got married, I still enrolled for my master's to continue the same.
Wow.
Yes.
So you got married at around 25?
24.
24?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And that did not change at all your routine. Now you're someone's wife, you're a home keeper, I would say. How did you manage that? Now you've added something else.
Yeah. I think, first of all, we didn't have a baby at that particular point. And I had also requested that I continue with my education. I just felt an urge to continue, which was very positive, because today I'm doing my doctorate, which I'm going to talk about. Oh my goodness. Adult learning is just, I wish I knew. I could have just continued with everything. Yes.
Okay. So now you're 25. You have your master's.
Yeah.
How is it transitioning now to a proper job? Ama the Chania boys.
Now
job
what
was
happened,
a
I got a
proper job.
baby. And when I got a baby, I felt that this was not the place for me anymore. So I left. The first thing, I wanted to get a better job, not what I'm doing today. And I kept looking until one point, a friend told me there are some accounts I need prepared for the bank. Why don't you just do it for me? And I did that. And that friend paid me 15,000 for that one job. And I said, what if I just do 5? What if I do 10? So that is how the passion was lit, and I wanted to concentrate on this and see how the future is.
And how is the future so far?
I think when I started, because it was not easy. Business is not employment. Entrepreneurship is not, it's something else. So there are so many things that I needed to learn as an entrepreneur that I think, even if I went through the education of finance and everything, that is not taught. So for 3 years, I really struggled. I didn't have rent for the office. I didn't have salaries. I really struggled until one time I went through a mentorship program. And in this mentorship program, I almost giving up, by the way, and saying, possibly I just get a job and just leave this alone. On the mentorship job, that is when the mentor asked me, and this is James Karondo, he asked me, what is the problem in your market? I was like, have I ever thought about that? What do people want? Because I'll knock doors and I introduce myself as an auditor, and someone will tell me, I have an auditor. What do you do next? So you knock on the other door.
Until you find someone who doesn't have an auditor.
And most people do. And an auditor stays in the organization. By the way, they stay. 10 years, 15 years, they stay. But when I thought about him longer, I remembered people mentioned that they had tax issues. So someone will tell me, I have an auditor, but I have a tax issue. The auditor is not able to handle a tax issue because they are not oriented on tax. So that is a place I knew that this was a line for me to be able to concentrate on. And that was around 2017. So I joined KESRA, KRA School for Tax Administration. So I started learning about tax. And then I started identifying myself as a tax consultant. Experience, tax requires a lot of experience, that you handle tax issues, you handle clients, because tax issues between clients are different. So you handle until you become experienced. Later, 2018, I started training about tax. It was also something very, what do I say? You know, those things that push you out of your comfort zone. James Karondo told me, Regina, why don't you train people about tax? Because I realized that the many tax issues they were having them out of lack of knowledge. So there are mistakes that should have been corrected. So he inspired me to do that, and he helped me to set up the first training. And it was very, very successful. So it was learning, so that I can master. At that particular point, I just invited people to just come and train because I didn't know anything until now I came learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've mentioned Mr. James twice now.
Yeah.
And in those two instances, alikufungua akili for
Yes.
sure. So how important would you say it is for young people especially to have mentors?
Oh my goodness, it's everything. And you never know until that particular point. And right now, I'm going through a mentorship program by another person who is called Mr. Wasike. And since that time that we started the mentorship program, everything that now moved from 1x to 2x. It just went to the next level. Mentorship is everything. You might know a lot, but you require somebody who can tell you another person who can give you a different opinion. Remember, when you're doing business, you don't discuss your business with anybody. At the end of the day, you just there running it out of your mind. But what if you just share it to somebody who has more experience, who can tell you, Regina, follow this one I don't think is important now, why don't you do it next year, the other one do this. And then you just do a program, 3 months, or after a month we do that with Mr. Wasike every single month. This is what I'm working on, quarter 1, we are working on this, quarter 2, quarter 3. And just somebody putting you on tabs until you get that success.
Okay. Allow me to go back kidogo.
Yeah.
On the marriage part. It has really intrigued me
Yes.
because I am around the age you were
Okay.
married. And now, ukisikia in the mtandao, women my age or the age you got married are very anti-marriage or anti-relationships.
Yes.
Would you say, what do you think has changed between this age and your age that you were comfortable to be married at that time? Na bado you're still studying. But right now we see marriage as something itakufunga-ish. What do you have to say about that?
I think when you're younger, you make such decisions because you're full of love and so many things. I also think we didn't have a lot of knowledge like what you're having today. You're seeing the social media is there, you're seeing so many things and you start feeling so afraid, oh, let me wait, let me do this. No, we didn't have that. Actually, by the time I was getting married, I had never heard of marriage counseling. I had never known minor existed or those. I had never had anything. So my mind was focused that this is it and I'm going to get married and everything will work out. And you're sharing a life with somebody who have looked at you and said, I love your ambition, I love you, how you're determined. So the same ambition, you continue with it and we continue with the journey. So I think that in your age, the more information you're having, it tends to feel like it is something that is not okay. But it's something very beautiful and great. Yes.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that.
Yes.
I'm taking it in.
Yes. I also mentioned something about COVID. When COVID came, that is when we understood that there were webinars and social media, and we started doing our trainings on the website, on webinars. And also that one became also a very huge game changer in the business that we are in.
One question, yeah? If you had to name one decision that changed the entire course of your life, from village girl to now this woman we are seeing today, what would you say was that one decision you made?
The very one decision was to go to school, to keep momentum, to see myself in class. That was one decision that when I think about it, I'm very happy for making that decision. Yes.
On your bio, you call yourself, let me see. Cheerleader of
Dreams.
Tell me why. What's the story behind that?
Okay. Cheerleader of dreams came into, I love setting goals. And for the longest, I guess, for over 15 years, I've set goals and they come to be. Actually, without kujiongeza chumvi, I achieve my 80 to 90% of my goals that I set.
What's the secret?
So I realized over time that there was something that I was doing that I needed to share to other people. So that's where I called myself cheerleader of dreams. And when people came to me, I cheered them to achieve their dreams. So that is what the name came in. And 2023, actually, that is when I went to social media full blast. Actually, what you can see, I started January 2023 to just be open, to be visible, to share. And the sharing has been good. Last year, I wrote a book, Reignite Your Dreams. I'll give you a copy.
Thank
you. Reignite Your Dreams. And most of the dreams, what I share, goals, was there. So I have a five plan. I call it formula for goal achievement. Number one is that you are able to write them with clarity, that you can sit down and write your goals, that you can do a vision board. You know, some of these things we just hear and you feel like, in you total. By the way, if I show you my vision board for 5 years, you cannot believe. Even if it doesn't come true that year, the following year. And that is the best thing of keeping a record. Because it also shows you that there was one time you were dying to get something and you got it. Even now that you are looking forward to getting something else, you're going to still get it. Because in the past, you still did that. Yeah. So that is the essence of that. So we do a vision board. We pin them somewhere that you can be able to see. Whether it's on a wall, in your bed. If I take you to my bedroom, you can wonder what kind of a bedroom. And then you pray about them. So that is where we miss out. We pray about them. We fast about them. Because God tells you, if God to submit your plans to me, if today God can tell you, get everything you want. Do you know most of us don't even know what we want? And there are those instances I believe that God just loves you. There's something you can do and God is like, Regina, receive everything. But do you have what you want? So that is a challenge. And sometimes we keep saying, oh, maisha imewekwa kwa graph. I don't think so. There's somewhere that what you want, God can give you exactly what you want. So there's a prayer and there's a fasting about it. And then the number 5 is sowing a seed. And when we talk about seeds, people are like, oh, pesa hapana. But it's very important. And sowing a seed, it doesn't just mean going to church and so that. You can sow a seed to somebody else. You can, if you want a business, you can sow a seed to someone's business. If you want education, you know, mtu akipata doctorate nini, mwambie hii 50K, nunua nguo ya gown ya kufanya graduation. I also want to tap to that. When you see somebody buying a plot or a house, you sow a seed to that you want. So that is a 5 formula. And when you write them, you don't have to, ati sisi tunaelekea January, ati sasa ndio utatafuta mahali uliani. Hapana, you have to keep them. I read my goals every day. Like every day. I see them every day. I tick them. I minus, I plus, you're just working on it intensely. And someone can even think you're obsessed. But that is everything that makes it to come true.
Okay, others call it manifesting.
Yes.
Others call it visualizing.
Yes.
Others call it praying to get it.
Yes.
It all ends up
to the same thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I am learning a lot
Yes.
here. So we were with you the other day.
Yeah.
You have a project with one of the government's initiatives, Nyota. Have you worked with the government before, or is this your first
assignment with the government?
And how is it so far?
So far, so good. It's a big challenge. First of all, we have a CSR that I started in the year 2022 to train people on how to get skills. By then, I've mentored over 10,000 people, trained them on different skills. These are cottage industry skills: baking, making yogurt, making soaps, making shoe polish, and over 1,000 people are doing business out of those skills. So one time when I was doing, and we do it free of charge, every month free of charge. So we have that skill day, and we also have an incubation. After you start doing your business, we put you in an incubation program for 6 months to now scale this business, to put it, we say you double your sales. So in that incubation, that's where I train. I train them on financial management, bookkeeping. I call people to train them on customer service, marketing, social media marketing, to just now grow that small business. And we have seen a lot of success. By the way, somebody saw me do that, and he told me, Regina, there's a Nyota program. I think you can do it. We were doing a CSR free, and then God in his own way gave us this project. We are executing the project next weekend. We are supposed to train 3,000 people within 4 days. So we are running up and down, and I'm hoping, and I know that we shall crack it. And it's a very beautiful program, because on those 4 days we shall be training them financial literacy, bookkeeping, business idea generation, social media marketing, customer, the same things, so that when they get that money, they can be able to set up a business that will be a good business.
What was that feeling when you were asked to do this Nyota initiative? I want you to take me back to that exact moment. Vile umesema, we were doing something for free, yeah? And then here we are. I'm sure it's a good amount of money there from the government.
Yeah.
How was that feeling? Was this part of your goals? Somewhere in that list of yours?
Let me tell you, I had a very big goal. And that one, I guess I'll talk about it next year. A very big one. At the end of the year, I'm like, how will this come to be? Until this program came in, and I'm like, wait a minute. Or can I tie this one to here?
Yeah.
So that is it. But I also say, when you're open and ready for opportunities, God just opens opportunities one by one. Another thing that I mentioned, when we started that program in 2022, we just wanted to give back to the society, give them skills, let people do business. By the way, I believe my purpose is on building people to do business, entrepreneurship, pushing financial goals, pushing entrepreneurial goals. I think that is where my purpose is. When we started the Skill Up, now we have Nyota program that have come. In the process, when I was doing the incubation program, I used to tell them, because you have to write your sales per month. We meet once a month. So when I come, you have to tell me if you are doing 20,000. See, we are working on how you're going to double your sales. So every time I will say, how much did you sell last month? They'll start looking at the M-Pesa, calculating, and I'm like, I'm going to look for a software fit for you. Remember, these are class 8 dropouts. There are people who doesn't have any background of, most of them are not even high school. And I went to the market to look for a software fit for them. I couldn't find. And I told my team, we're going to have a software team here, and they're going to make a software, an accounting software fit for these micro SMEs. And we have it.
Wow. We
have My Accurate Books. We launched it last year. And at the moment, we are having over 500 happy users. And I'm believing God that next year we shall 10x it, because we have a viable accounting software for those people. You don't have an accounting background, you have a small business, we have an accounting software for you. But remember, this idea did not come when I was serving my tax client, because my tax clients are doing billions. They have ERPs and so many software that they pay. The lowest do QuickBooks. I didn't see the need. There was no need in my mind, because all the customers we serve are high-end customers. But when we went to these people, that is when, after 2 years of working with them, that's when the idea drops.
And where does it come from really to help? You know, umesema you were
Yes.
dealing with billionaires.
Yes.
Now you want to grow someone from the
Yes.
grassroots. Why are you pushed to do that?
By the way, I've done this work for 11 years now as a consultant, interacting with entrepreneurs and growing their business. I told you that is now my vision. In the year 2021, I went through a purpose class to understand what's my purpose. And when I realized my purpose, that is when we started the Skill Up Mentorship program, because I tied my purpose in raising entrepreneurs. And I've seen entrepreneurs that I started with doing 10 million, they get to 100, they get to 1 billion. I have seen it with my own eyes. It is possible to scale a business in Kenya. So there are fundamentals that somebody can do and they scale their business. And that is what I want to do with these entrepreneurs that we are raising.
Beautiful. You mentioned you went to a class
Yes.
to understand your purpose.
Yes.
How important then it is, because clearly you've done self-work.
Yes, self-awareness.
Self-awareness before you helped another person.
Yeah.
How important is it for especially women to do that, to understand their purpose?
Yeah.
And for that woman who might not afford this class, how would you advise them to really go in and find their purpose?
Wow, beautiful. You know, there comes a point where you feel like I wasn't born just to become a wife, just to become a mother, just to be, you know, you come to a place where you feel I was born for something. And that is what led me to do the Purpose class by Irene Moretti. And it was a beautiful program. But if you cannot afford, there are so many, you can go online. By the way, from that time, that is the time I went online and saw kumbe kuna learnings how to understand your purpose. Yeah. So you can go online on YouTube, how to understand your purpose. There are even tests that you can even Google and see tests which you can be able to do, and you can just do. And it's just being self-aware. You can talk to friends who are very close to you and tell them, would you help me do this test with me? What do you think I'm strong in? What do you think I am good at? And with that, the final thing, prayer. The moment you submit yourself to God, just reveals over time that this is the path.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. As we wind up, we have Dr. Regina King'ori here, and we have Regina King'ori, the village girl.
Yes.
What is Dr. telling the village girl now that she has what she has? What would you tell her?
I'll tell her, well done. Looking at the journey, I don't have regrets. I might have made mistakes, and learning, life is lessons. There are lessons, there are challenges. There are things that I've cried over. There are things I've smiled about. And there's something that I've realized, that I should normalize pain. You know, sometimes when you're going through pain, you're like, why me, why me? But it's part of the journey. It's part of the learning. It's part of the testimony. So I'll tell her, well done. But I will still tell her the sky is the limit. There's still much more. You're 2x. You should be 10x and 20 and 30 and 50.
I love
There's still much more, yes, to conquer.
All right. And to the woman now watching this story, mwenye, you know, is anajuliza, why me? You know, someone who has started very many businesses, they have failed. Someone who has still not yet understood her purpose. They are seeking it, but bado kuna kitu, bado they are missing. What would you tell that woman?
It's an encouragement. Understanding your purpose, understanding your path is a journey. First of all, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself, and focus. And just be ready, and just move in silence. Sometimes we don't understand our life because we are so crowded. So just remove a few items, just be at peace, and God will reveal himself to you. And you will know. you will know. So I would encourage every woman out there that you can go out and achieve your dreams. You can become anything that you desire. As long as you desire, you can conceive it and you can achieve it.
Okay.
It's a path. Be open to failing, to rising, to crying, to laughing. You're just open to the journey.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And finally, please, where can one get your book?
And to get my book, Reignite Your Dreams by Dr. Regina King'ori, Nuria Bookshop in Nairobi. I'm the CEO, RWK Africa. We do tax, audit, and bookkeeping. We are all over social media. I have YouTube, Facebook, all of them. Dr. Regina King'ori, CPAK. That's the page. And I'm so happy that you made time to come and speak to me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.